Hello, I think we're live. Hello, everyone. How are we all? I believe today is Tuesday. I don't know why I've had a weird sensation of every day so far this week feeling like Wednesday. Really, really bizarre. All right, so I hope we're doing all right. Sorry, my dog's just making weird noises in the background. Oh, Callie! Yeah. Beautiful lady. Thanks for jumping on. Okay. I haven't prepped this morning. So something really awesome has just happened in the last not even 24 hours. And it's so cool because it's pushing me way outside my comfort zone in such a awesome way. So a beautiful friend of mine, well, a couple of friends actually, one invited me to a group, and it's a group called Earth Elders and the Galactic Fire. Anyway, it started off as a quantum healing group, and it was a festival where various healers and musicians and switch that off. Various humans with various skill sets were presenting in, and then they were opening that up to anyone who wanted to partake and present. Anyway, a beautiful soul friend of mine presented yesterday, and she had, the day before she presented, had already sent me the presenter's link, and I hadn't clicked on it to that point. Anyway, I as she was on the live, I was like, Andrea, no excuses, get in there and just see what it's about and look at if there's any opportunities. Hi, Luke. Sorry. So good. So anyway, I went through the process, and this is an incredible group. It's an incredible offering, and it's purely in service to people. So there is no selling, no sending people off to sign up for things. There's no email addresses collected. It is purely from a basis of service, as opposed to being able to promote yourself, which is just really, really resonates. Anyway, I've been watching the various guys presenting in the group across the globe, and yesterday, at the time that I committed to presenting, the group was at a total audience of 41,000 people. Okay, now of course you don't get that entire audience. It's like, I've got 200 plus people in this group, and it looks like I've got two guys on live right now. So, you can do the numbers in that. But anyway, what was interesting is the moment I committed to that, a few things happen. So first of all, fear really stepped in. Now, I talk about fear a lot, particularly if you've watched my videos from the Being in My Edge challenge. And I deliberately, intentionally look for ways to feel the fear and do it anyway, without going on too much about that. Effectively, what that does is it upgrades our systems. We become different versions of ourselves when we tackle and do these things that present fear. So I'm well versed in that. I'm not that's you know basically effectively the base program of joy, and how to generate joy in our life. It's like feel the ickiness and just do it anyway, and then reap the benefits that doing so do. Um, Now, at the moment, we're in lockdown, right? So I haven't, aside from walking the dog, I haven't been anywhere else outside of my house and backyard for well over a week. And I've been giggling to myself because it's like, well, how much fear-facing stuff can you actually do when, I can only physically be in this location? Funny I had that question because I've just found it in such a massive way. In such a massive way. So, yeah, be careful what questions you ask, guys. Be careful what you wish for. Something which I haven't yet made available is I've created a daily and a weekly joy practice. So what I've done is I've taken things that I do myself and created in a nice, I'm sure my graphic design friends would shut up, but in hopefully what's a nice appealing looking 2-page document. So I called it the Daily Weekly Joy Practice, or a Joy Planner. And in that there is a section called my finger's in the wrong way, being in my edge. Yeah. And so at Monday, yesterday, see, I'm still getting my days mixed up, I sat down and did this. So instead of just being something that I kind of do, I figure, well, before I make this publicly available, that I'll put it into practice. Anyway, so being in my edge, and so that section is doing one thing that takes me outside my comfort zone, that is challenging myself. Imagine it going well before commencing, and acknowledge myself afterwards for my courage regardless of the outcome. Anyway, my being in my edge, that I did this first thing yesterday that I put down, was to call a particular lady who I got to hear present at Seven Sisters a few weeks ago, and I put myself down on her mailing list with my phone number, and she called pretty much a week after the festival, and I hadn't gotten around back to calling her back. So I put that on there because, there was a little bit of fear, hence why I hadn't done it already, to reaching out to someone who I hold in very high regard. She was amazing. One of the best presenters I've ever seen, actually. So, yeah. So that was my intention. That was my being in my edge this week. Jump on the phone, make a phone call to someone who I admire, right? But yeah, consequently, I'll have to cross that out because tomorrow, Wednesday, 11 a.m., I'm doing a live in this Earth Elders and Galactic Fire group. And I just checked, it's now up to 43,000 people. So insane. Absolutely insane. So yeah, so that brought all my fear shit up, right? And it has dulled. So the funny thing with fear, and look, I'm no expert on fear specifically, but what fear does, and I'm seeing I'm living this for myself right now. So since I committed to doing that, I felt the fear. I felt the tightness in my gut. I felt the butterflies and that frenetic energy that was sort of coming from that. And the other thing is that what started to come in pretty much immediately was clarity and intuition. Okay, so if we think about fear, and a lot of people speak to fear in terms of fight, flight, or freeze. Okay, so, and it's very much an unconscious response. From memory, it comes from the amygdala part of the brain, and very much that, survival. Yeah, so, is it because there's a tiger chasing us? What am I going to do to survive this? So, survival instincts kick in. And when we think about it, if we do think from the perspective of, say, an animal who is being tracked by a predator, okay, what is useful with fear is that it shuts down all of the unnecessary. Okay, so blood flow restricts from areas in the body that isn't necessary. So if we're going into fight, then the blood will go to where it needs to strengthen us in that chosen, it's not really chosen, it's instinctual, in that instinctual reaction. Okay. If we go into flight, we need to be able to, get out of that situation fast. So the blood, in response to the situation, again, survival goes to where it's needed. Okay. Um, so, so in that instance, is that with fear, we need that clarity to come in. Okay, right. If I go into run mode, I need clarity about where I'm running to, what's the quickest way to get there, what's the best way to lose whatever it is that's trying to eat me right now. Yeah. And intuition, okay, is that little quiet voice generally that has taken in consideration all of our unconscious awareness, all the bits of information. So intuitively, I might be getting a message: run to the left, run to the hills, whatever's on my left, right? And I may not know consciously why my unconscious mind has decided that running left is the way to go. Perhaps unconsciously, part of my mind heard running water coming from the right and knows that in actual fact there's a river there that you're not going to be able to get across, and in fact if you run right, you're going to be trapped. Okay, so what was interesting is I'm always practicing and honing and working with improving my ability to listen to my intuition. That's sort of been a personal project that's ongoing for me for a while now. And it's not always easy, particularly at first. I have gotten a lot better. I do a lot of personal check-ins with a lot of things that I never used to. I've cleared a lot of the things that prevented me from being able to tap into that. So, but what was awesome is the moment I committed to doing this live on Wednesday, and wow, just the clarity and the intuitive messages that started dropping in about what I am to speak of. And it's been streaming in ever since, which is really, really cool. There's something about this, because it is such a big group. I'm exposing myself, hence the fear, right? But also the fear's there because there's more on the line. I love this group. I love you guys dearly. There's, I know, almost 220 in this group now. And a lot of you guys are beautiful friends and family. and loved ones. Yeah. And you could argue that exposing myself, making myself more vulnerable to loved ones, for some people, that's actually scarier than, say, to making ourselves more vulnerable in front of strangers. I'm pretty okay doing both these days. Practice makes progress. Um, all right. So with committing to this, the fear shit came up, but also interestingly, a lot of intuition and a lot of clarity about my message. And what's been interesting is that something that I've been starting to prepare myself for with lives in this group, where I base myself, this is my home, right? With you guys, is to start being what I call more polarizing. Okay, so my message very much so has been, accept all parts, love and accept all parts. And that part of my message won't change, by the way. But there's a part of my message that's been percolating in me, and it's tied in with a challenge that I have got planned for you guys, which it's probably going to come out in the next few weeks, I'm suspecting, based on what's moving at the minute. And that's about self-responsibility. And probably why I haven't yet tackled that challenge is because with self-responsibility is that it's about owning our situation, our results, our life. And I go pretty hardline. My message with self-responsibility is that we own everything. So everything that's going on in our lives that we are responsible for. So the reason why I probably haven't shared that or done that challenge as yet is because that's not necessarily an easily digestible thing for people to hear. Okay, it can be polarizing. People can react to that and go, fuck, that doesn't resonate with me. Andrea's full of shit. I don't like her. Yeah. And see, this has been my personal thing, is to start overcoming my need to be liked, my my nice girl, my good girl programming makes this quite challenging for me to do make polarizing statements that I know that people are either going to resonate with or they're going to reject. And me needing to be able to separate my message to people rejecting me, and me also being okay with people not liking me as well. Yeah. It's okay. It's sitting in my system all right. I'm just checking in and actually seeing where I'm at with that. So some of my time in lockdown, I've been crafting my polarizing messages. And what's really interesting is, for some reason, instead of sharing those polarizing statements with you guys in my safe place in my home, I'm going to choose to do it in front of a much larger audience. So a lot of the clarity that's been coming in since I signed up is sort of just giving me some language and some statements, and the energy that I'll be able to hold and bring into that live tomorrow. So yeah. It's funny, I have never really been a card deck person, but a friend of mine gifted me these, And so, just like what astrology has always been for me in the past, it's more so been something that I've done. Check my star signs. It's a bit entertaining, and enjoy these things. Pulling cards and astrology from an entertainment perspective. I think becoming a little more open to things like quantum theory and energy, and having my own personal experiences with that, has made me a bit more seeing it a little less as an entertainment, but perhaps that there is more to it than that. Anyway, interestingly, yesterday I pulled a couple of cards in the morning, and one card is a card that I've been pulling over and over again over the last couple of weeks. It's about lucid dreaming. I also pulled that card in our Waking Women's Gathering online last week as well, which was hilarious. And another card that I keep pulling is the Fire card. And the Fire card is, about transformation and, burning things up. And the change and the regrowth and the rebirth that happens as a result of things being burnt down. So I pulled that one yesterday, and then, of course, I've just been thinking, oh my God, now I'm presenting in this global group that's about, sitting at the fire and sharing around the fire. So it's that whole, it's running off that premise, which is really beautiful, that you just come sit at the fire and you have your opportunity to share and be heard and hear others, which is really cool. Anyway, funnily enough, I've just pulled another card, and I've pulled this one here, which is Sun. And the words underneath that are illumination, growth, and God energy. Anyway, I looked up the meaning of it, and it's got a lot to do with bringing out the masculine energy. So the masculine energy is very much of the doing and the being, projecting out. Anyway, it's funny. It's perfect. It's perfect for right now. It's perfect for the next, not yet 24 hours. So the next 20, in the next 26 hours, I'm going to be honing my message, crafting it, and bringing in what I need to assist me in sharing that message. So yeah, the cards have been quite on task for me over the last little bit. So yeah, so here's to really stepping outside my comfort zone, getting clarity, sharing a message, and being okay in that. So it's it's exciting. It's terrifying. It's exciting. If for anyone who's free at 11 o'clock tomorrow, the link to the actual group is on my personal profile page. I shared that yesterday afternoon. Yeah, I'm excited. And terrified. Oh, it's so good. The whole premise of stepping outside our comfort zone is it absolutely upgrades us. Okay. We don't get away unscathed, unchanged when we deliberately, intentionally do things that put us outside our comfort zone. It upgrades our system. So I'm quite excited for what this one, who I'll be on the other side of having done that Facebook Live. I think that's it. So thank you for listening. As I said, if you haven't got anything on, join me. I'll be dying in a good way. I'll be in the fire, around the fire. So awesome. Thanks for listening, guys. See you once I'm upgraded after tomorrow.